And the testing which shapes you and prepares you for the most important job in the world.
You know, that job is the job of the President of the United States. So far, Ohio Governor John Kasich registering a 0 in the polls. And I thought yesterday he was clear and direct. He's already stopped in New Hampshire just hours after that formal announcement. And what about the Trump factor? Joining me this morning with his perspective is NKU political science professor Ryan Salzman. Does it surprise you that he's registering a 0 right now in the polls?
Well, it's unfortunately not too surprising.
Yeah.
The fact that Trump had his appearance in South Carolina where he created a lot of dust, that just further makes evident the problems that Kasich's going to have.
We're going to get to that dust kicking in a moment. He has 2 weeks to start registering the polls before that debate. Is he going to be able to do it, especially with the Trump effect?
Well, I never thought I would say this, but Governor Kasich could probably take a play out of Trump's book.
Sure.
Now, I don't want that to be taken out of context.
Right.
But he needs to create some waves. He needs to do something that will draw attention to him. I found it very discouraging this morning as I was going through my Twitter feed. Almost none of the national outlets have a follow-up story besides the original launch for him.
Yeah. You know what? Let's take a look in terms of getting attention. Trump is very good at that. Take a listen to this.
They can talk all they want. I mean, I got a little dose of it. I was coming up, and I see your senator. What a stiff. What a stiff. Lindsey Graham. By the way, he's registered 0 in the polls. 0. He's on television all the time.
That's the latest thing that Trump did. He gave out his phone number as well. Before that, he talked about illegal immigrants from Mexico. He talked about Senator McCain not being a hero, but he's surging in the polls, 24 points now. Do you think he's going to run out of time? Is he a viable candidate? Will his numbers keep going up?
You have to think that he's going to burn out sooner than later.
Sure.
That is, that people are going to be put off by what he has to say. And the minute he becomes not a front runner, it's no longer as interesting as it is right now when he is a front runner. That's actually kind of feeding the fire. But, you know, November, December, January, will he make it to January? I'm doubtful, but I didn't think he'd make it this far.
How important is that first debate for him?
It's very important, and that's a great point, because at that point, he can't really go off script as much. He can go off script, but you're guaranteed that the other candidates are going to try to hold his feet to the fire.
Here's a question for you. A lot of people say Trump is channeling the frustration harbored by conservatives who feel abandoned by Republicans. Your response to that?
I think that that's probably true. A lot of the support that he's getting is that way. But what we might say that's kind of interesting is that he's kind of redefining the party and where the party stands, and that could be really advantageous for somebody like John Kasich to say, individuals like Trump have taken over this party, and I'm going to take it back. I'm going to make it reasonable. Look at my experience. Look at things like the balanced budget. Look at jobs. And these are the things that really matter. And we may see kind of a back swell, if you will.
Okay, let's talk about backswell. Fox News Channel. People who had supported him originally now no longer support him. Sean Hannity, Bill O'Reilly taking some harsh stances against him. Can he get to the White House without Fox News support?
Probably not. There's been some attention in the media recently about Trump's relationship with Robert Murdoch and Ailes, and they seem kind of contentious, but no, it'll be very difficult for him to be able to get the nomination without their support.
The last thing is people say he's erratic. He's been a Democrat for most of the last 10 years. How does he explain that away?
Well, he hasn't tried yet. I'll be very curious to see, but there is no doubt that he will come up with some excuse.
Ryan Salzman, NKU professor of politics. I'm sure we're going to see you often this election.
I hope so.
We'll turn it over to Kara.
Thank you so much. Okay, here's a look at what you need to know to